The objective of the proposal is to design a special biochar to simultaneously capture ammonium nitrogen and dissolved phosphate from tiny drainage water. We will recycle the nutrient-captured biochar as slow-release fertilizer and keep nutrients in the agriculture loop to reduce their loss. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to have this opportunity to talk about our NREC project. This project was founded last year. It's a 4 years project. Our project is to design some special biochar to catch and recycle nutrients, especially dissolved phosphate, from tiny drainage water. Beside me, our team, including Dr. Richard Cook, he's from ABE, Department of Agriculture, Biological Engineering from UI, Dr. Sharma, same like me, from ISTC, Illinois Sustainable Technology Center. Also, Dr. Aldridge, he's from WRD from Chicago. Actually, he's charging in our field sites at Fulton County. So, what's the biochar? Biochar is a carbon-rich material produced from biomass under limited supply of oxygen. So we can use in pyrolysis to convert the biomass to syngas, bio-oil, the solid portion we call the biochar. Actually, biochar is not a high technical product. Biochar kind of like a commonly we using the carbon material, like charcoal, char, active carbon, black carbon. Well, biochar is produced from waste biomass. They can provide several benefits like waste reduction, energy production, contamination absorption. So what's the big difference between the biochar and this carbon-rich material? You know, biochar is applied to the soil. The purpose is for the carbon sequestration and the soil amendment. We know the country, global climate change is a big challenge for us. We think about the global change. Climate change is believed to come large emission of the greenhouse gases, primarily from CO2, carbon dioxide. Since industrial revolution, global climate, global atmospheric concentration of CO2 increase. So that's why the weather is become too hot and hot. So the people wear less and less. Of course, not today. Today is very cold. So that's why we have to stand up to cooling down our Earth. So biochar is one of a feasible solution to reduce growing levels of CO2 in the atmosphere. The natural carbon cycle, we know is neutral. For example, plants take the CO2 from the atmosphere. From CO2 to the atmosphere, when plant die, become to the biomass carbon in the plant. When plant die, the biomass carbon will release, become the CO2 release back to the environment, atmosphere. So the circle is neutral. If we can use pyrolysis to produce biochar, we can lock about 15% of the biomass carbon in the biochar. Biochar can stay in the soil for the 100,000 years. So this means the net process of the carbon is negative. So that's why biochar production and the soil management have a great potential to mitigate climate change. So the biochar is deserved to get some carbon credit. So it's recent research, they suggest biochar can be used as a nature-based activity for climate mitigation. It's an estimate. If biochar can wider application, so every year we can reduce about 100 billion tons of CO2. So the biochar is a very good strategy for the carbon sequestration. Also, biochar can apply to soil as a soil amendment. Biochar, when supplied to soil, kind of like a sponge. They can trap the moisture, help the soil holding the nutrients, attract more beneficial the fungi and the microbe, improve the CEC, exchange canal exchange of capacity, or raise the soil pH. However, biochar addition application in the soil have not consistently resulted in increased crop yield. Some research shows biochar can increase the crop yield after using a soil amendment. Some research shows no more difference, no more significant difference. Even some research show, will cause a negative yield for crop because it will infect the plant growth. Another barrier for the biochar large application is cost. So that's why we want to improve the biochar the value, then cover some cost. In our Midwest, the subsurface tank drainage system has been widely application using in the agriculture field to remove excess water, especially in the spring. However, this drainage system will deliver large quantity of the nutrients, primarily nitrogen, nitrite nitrogen, and phosphorus from agriculture field to surrounding the watershed. Especially in the summer, some dissolved phosphate is often identified as a primary perpetuate for the harmful algae bloom. On another hand, you heard about some peak phosphorus. So currently, we are running short of the phosphate ohm. This means that in the next 50, 60 years, we don't have enough phosphorus mineral to make the chemical fertilizer. So it's critical to develop the best management practice that can reduce phosphorus loss from the field, also can recover the phosphorus for agriculture application. So that's why we have ideas, we want to produce some designed biochar that can simultaneously capture the ammonium, nitrogen, and phosphorus from the tight drainage water. This nutrient captured biochar we want to use for the slow release fertilizer. So that's why we can keep nutrients in agricultural loop, minimize their loss, and enhance the soil fertility. So this idea was supported last year by NREC grant. So that's why our project objective is to design the biochar to effectively capture nutrients, especially for dissolved phosphorus, from subsurface tank drainage, and recycle nutrient, capture the biochar as slow release fertilizer, and keep phosphorus in the agriculture loop. So our project including 4 tasks. One is create, design the biochar. Second is optimize the biochar production condition to get most efficiency and cost effect the biochar for the field study. Third is manufacture, design the biochar to capture nutrients for subsurface tank drainage by constructing biochar sorption channel. Fourth is recycle the nutrient captured biochar and apply them in the field to improve soil quality and crop yields. So this is my lab. We produced different biochar from different biomass. You can see for all the biochar compared to the active carbon, our biochar can successful to remove the ammonium ion. After measuring the zeta potential, we saw that most biochar the surface is net charge, so they can strong absorption of the candide chemicals, for example, like ammonium ion, through the electrostatic absorption mechanism. Since biochar surface is negative, so they are not efficient to remove, to capture or absorb like dissolved phosphorus because they are most ammonium ions. So that's why we think about, can we make some designed biochar? They can capture this anion material as well, like dissolved phosphorus as well. So that's why we're using some lime sludge or some gypsum to pre-treat the biomass to make some designed biochar. So the lime sludge, usually they can using for the agriculture field for the lining. So lime sludge is a byproduct from the drinking water plant. In the drinking water, they are using limestone to soften the water. So this is good. This is a bioproduct we're using to make our designed biochar. Before I mentioned, so biochar mostly can remove, can absorption this ammonia. But we find our designed biochar actually for the ammonia the removes the better. So this means design improve the ammonia absorption. Also, most important, we find that our designed biochar for the phosphate remove is significantly increased. So that's why we optimize the designed biochar production in the condition. For example, we're using different pyrolysis temperature, using different line sludge, also different line sludge application rate. The purpose we want to make our produce most efficient and cost-effective designed biochar. I think if you're interested, I think afternoon later for the post section, my student will show you more detail for this, how to modify, how to optimize the condition to get the best designed biochar. Here, I just give you a sample using one of designed biochar to compare the most common using the phosphate absorbent. You can see this is designed biochar. If you in the solution, if you in the phosphorus solution, like less than 10 milligram per liter, this designed biochar can 100% remove. This comparison is conducted under 50 milligram per liter phosphate solution. So you can see the designed biochar can remove the 90% phosphate. It's much higher like just non-modified biochar, like 5% biochar. Also, this is much higher than most like lime sludge, the gypsum, fly ash, or active carbon. Another interesting we can see, if we put just the biochar, non-modified biochar, mixture with just simple mixture lime sludge, they can yield still not very high, still much lower than designed biochar. So this means our processor, the technique, can have a synergistic effect on the phosphate remove. You may this remove the capacity can up to the several hundred milligram per gram. So this means the 1 kilogram the biochar you can capture 700 gram the phosphate. So far I didn't find any phosphate absorption can compete my designed biochar. So you think about why our designed biochar is so good. So that's why we do some mechanism analysis. We're using SEM, XRD to want to invest the absorption mechanism. For example, this slide shows the XRD from biochar, designed biochar absorption phosphate. We find some new compound, new peak. This is a new compound, like a calcium, like a magnesium, calcium, phosphate. So based on this analysis, we propose some mechanism. We think about this. We saw that the absorption of the phosphate could be controlled by multiple mechanisms. One is intropulsion, diffusion of designed biochar. It's kind of like a physical absorption in the biochar surface and the pore. Second, this is a minor, this is not a major absorption mechanism. Major absorption mechanism is surface deposition reaction. I mentioned our designed biochar have a high calcium, magnesium. This is from the soft water softening. So they can reaction with phosphate to generate some calcium, magnesium, calcium phosphate, magnesium phosphate. Also, if your system have, have ammonium, the ammonia and magnesium and the phosphate, they will produce some sulfur. I think the morning the Andrew he talking about the sulfur. So this kind of nature we can, like our system can make that. Another major mechanism is because I mentioned biochar surface usually is basic, like A2 pH, A210. So this condition will activate this precipitation reaction happen in the biochar surface. So far, we know we have developed designed biochar. This designed biochar can efficiently, simultaneously to remove the ammonia, nitrogen, and also the dissolved phosphate. So we think of next step, we want to transfer how we applied this design biochar in the field. How, we want to find a way to transfer this technique from the lab to the field. We know that this denitrifying bioreactor had been proved as one of our agent on the field conservation practice. So, for example, like a wood chip bioreactor, then can convert nitrate and the nitrite to the nitrogen through the denitrification effect. So this is a biological process. But however, there is some portion of the nitrite will convert to the ammonia. Like this morning they mentioned the DNRA, not the DNA, DNRA. So this is, so this means that after bioreactor, the ammonia concentration, leaching effluent ammonia concentration will increase. Another is for most bioreactor, they cannot remove dissolved phosphorus. So that's why we, also worse is some dissolved, before, or some primary research we find some dissolved phosphate after bioreactor will significantly increase. This is because some bioreactor, I mentioned the bioreactor is a biological process. Some organic phosphate we can decompose to inorganic dissolved phosphate. Another way, some biomass, like stover, maybe they have high phosphate. So that's why we're leaching. Also we're leaching, that's why it causes the effluent, the much high, the dissolved phosphate concentration higher than inflow. So that's why we think about it. We saw that we can develop some biochar sorption channel attached after the bioreactor. So we put the designed biochar in the biochar sorption channel. So then to capture the ammonia and the nitrogen, ammonia and the dissolved phosphate in here. After catch them, this designed biochar will be using back to the field. So keep the nutrients in this circle, minimize the runoff. So in the field, for the field study, we try not to block the water flow. That's why we need make some design biochar pellets. Because in the lab, we can use the powder, powder material, powder more efficient. But in the field, we need to make the pellets. So that's why for the biomass, the line sludge, we mix with the biomass, then fertilizer, then produce the design biochar using pyrolysis. So we get design biochar pellets for the field study. So our field study will be conducted in Fulton County. So currently, the 11 to 12 acres drainage system has been installed at NWRD research sites at Fulton County. Each drainage system, including 3 bioreactors and 3 we call the phosphorus absorption filter. This means that each drainage system, each bioreactor, and with 1 phosphorus filter, phosphorus absorption filter can cover like 3 or 4 acres of drainage water. Or the water from 3 to 4 acre fields. So 3 treatments will be conducted in the existing drainage system. One is I mentioned using our designed biochar. Second is we will put some commercial polymer-based phosphorus is the solvent. Third is a slag material, is iron material, slag material. So this study will, the field study will study like this month. Actually, we planning the last week because weather, like today, so it's cold. So snowing last Thursday, so we have postponed. We planning the next Thursday. So if you guys interested, you can join us. So what's next step? Next step, we want to scale up this our technique. We want to, make some biochar absorption channel to carve more drainage water from the big agriculture area. Second is because we need the cycles, you get enough, nutrient capture the biochar for test as a slow release fertilizer. So this year we're planning to make some biochar absorption channel still in the Fulton County, but the new site is Fulton County. So we started this system. We'll install this system. So this system can up to holding 40 pumps, designed biochar. Also can treat 20 acres the field. So we're planning to design some portable pooler. So that's why we can put the biochar. We're using pull in and because we need to take out. No. So the pull in and withdraw and pull in. So this kind of like a traditional, the draining, get well water, the drilling well water. So this study I mentioned we'll set up this year. Hope do next 2 years for test. Again, I mentioned one of our unique for our project is get the nutrient captured biochar. We want to use it as slow release fertilizer because I have some project found from Illinois Department of Agriculture. We found that we saw that we using some phosphate loading the biochar can help the plant grow up compared to with no modified biochar. Okay, before I close my talk, I give you a quick review so you can get some take-home message. So biochar is a carbon-rich material produced from biomass. Biochar using apply the soil, can using for the carbon sequestration, so it's desired to get carbon credit. Also, biochar can use it as a soil amendment. In the Midwest, in our Midwest, tight drainage system deliver large quantity of nutrients for agriculture field to the surrounding the watershed. So our project is to produce some designed biochar to capture nutrients, especially for dissolved phosphate from the subsurface tight drainage. The nutrient captured biochar will be used as slow release fertilizer to keep the nutrients in agriculture loop, minimize their loss. So we find our designed biochar can efficiently absorb the ammonium ions, also dissolve the phosphorus. So in the field, we will develop some biochar absorption channel, put the designed biochar in the channel, then capture the runoff, the dissolved phosphate and ammonia. Then using nutrient captured biochar for the land application. So right now I'm working on to make some designed biochar pellets. Then we'll go into put it in the field for some field study. Okay, final, I want to thank you, some students, my postdoc. Also, thank you, my colleague, my collaborator working on this project. Especially, I will thank you, Illinois NREC project for support our study. We appreciate it. Final, thank you everyone. Take your time, listen to my talk. Now I take your question.